Halfway through this Game 1 contest at Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field, 1-0. Bucknell leads Holy Cross. Great to be alongside my good pal Brennan Glasheen. I'm Justin Antweil. Difference in this one, Sam Clark, the third baseman's team leading 7th home run this season. Perfect summer weather. Leading things off for the Holy Cross College Crusaders, it's Thomas Russo. He's one of 4 strikeout victims for Connor Van Hoos, who had to labor a bit in the 4th inning, but ended up working out of some trouble after he was perfect his first 3 frames.
He's rolled, he's got a head, and he's using his pitches, and there you go. A curveball to lead off the at-bat. I mean, he's mixing and matching. Not predictable by any means.
Connor Van Hoos, last 20 innings pitched, he's allowed just 1 run. Dialed in. The 0-1. Fastball away, count 1-1, has a 1.87 ERA in league play, tops in the Patriot League in strikeouts. Opponents hit just .221 against him. Has that bulldog mentality. The 1-1 to Russo. Good job by Klugerman to catch that in the black part of the plate. Count 1-2. Bucknell trying to become just the 3rd 4 seed to ever capture a Patriot League tournament crown since the format went to 4 teams in 2008. Slicing to left center field, John Paul Bell fights the sun to make an over-the-shoulder catch like a wide receiver. He looked like his cousin, Ty Montgomery, ranging out in left center field to make a catch like a wide receiver. Take another look. Bell's been positioned very well throughout this contest. Gets a good read off the barrel of the bat and an over-the-shoulder grab. Good job by Smith to back him up in case that ball scooted past Bell. So a loud out, but an out nonetheless. And there's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Alex Wojtek, one of 4 strikeout victims for Van Hoos, digs in. Wojtek, a senior, hitting just 157, but the coaches love his game-calling ability. Has some pop, despite the poor average. His on-base percentage, though, is .260. His average 157, and that's what you want to see. You want to see your OBP about 100 points higher than your batting average. That means you know you're doing a good job. Sticks across the board here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch. Curveball hammered on the left field line. Foul. Count 1-2. There were some thunderstorms last night right as Bucknell was leaving the facility after their late night practice. But field's in great shape. Hat tip to the grounds crew here at Holy Cross. The 1-2. Klugerman tried to frame it to no avail.
Yeah, Holy Cross has got to do something as far as you got to find any way you can to get on base here. Caselli got hit by a pitch. I mean, you've got to maybe drop a bunt. You've got to do something.
The leadoff batters are 0 for 5, and that is the 5th strikeout for Connor Van Hoos. That's that aforementioned wipeout slider. 2 away here in the 5th. Van Hoos eyeballing his 4th perfect inning through 5. If he can get Kellen McCormick out, the 8-hole hitter, the DH.
When you watch this performance, it almost makes you wonder, how did Bucknell end up as the 4th best team in the Patriot League this year when you have a 1-2 punch in the rotation?
Yeah, Bucknell started out league play taking 3 of 4 against Lehigh. And they had a tough series against Army where they could have swept them, but they ended up losing 3 of 4. One of the games was 16-14 the final. A crazy game. Liner up the middle, backhanded by Rawlings. Jump throw, unable to be picked by Rafferty. That'll be a base hit for Kellen McCormick. First off, what a great job by Van Hoos just to get out of the way. That was a screaming line drive back to the pitcher. Good range by Rawlings. That's a pickable ball for a senior Rafferty. It's not an error, but that you got to make that pick.
Great job. He's getting down for dear life. Here's another look at it.
Good job by Rawlings, right? I mean, that's some nice range. Normally the DH, but Raff has got to pick that. It's obviously a tough play, so that should be a base hit. We'll see how they officially score. Nothing's been flashed yet. Wow, that's an error. I'm not sure if that's an error on Raff or Rawlings. Probably Raff, but that's a tough error. That was not a routine play. First pitch in for a called strike. Count 0-1. Although if any runs score, that means they'd be unearned, so it wouldn't affect Van Hoos's ERA. But he's not one of those guys that cares about his personal stats. The 0-1. Looper down the right field line, foul. Count 0-2, and that error is big because what it does is it clears the bottom of the order. So even if, Rinaldi gets out here, you'd have your top of the order leading off the home half of the sixth.
And again, Holy Cross finds a way to get someone on just to create some sort of disruption in the rhythm of Van Hoos this afternoon.
The 0-2. Served into center. Smith charging in. Lays out. Traps the baseball. Running on contact, it was Kellen McCormick. He's able to motor into third. Great effort by the defensive player of the year. That's just the second base hit through 4 2/3 innings for the purple and white. The 9-hole hitter comes through. Just kind of sprayed that ball into shallow center as we take another look.
And not trying to do too much. They've kept Smith busy as far as the deeper part of the park. And I only mean that because he's had to help John Paul Bell track down some balls out and left. But any way he can, and look, McCormick was off because there was 2 outs, so he gets all the way down to third. And you give Hassell a chance here.
Hassell hits .342 with runners in scoring position. That's the situation here in the home half of the fifth. Van Hoos fires. In for a called strike. Count 0-1. Johnson runs behind Van Hoos to back up the throw in case Klugerman's toss to the pitcher goes awry. Big spot here. As you mentioned, Brendan, huge opportunity for the leadoff hitter. Who's 0 for 2 with 2 bouncers to third base. And the old fake to third, look over to first play. Holy Cross is the fewest stolen bases in the Patriot League. There's always that little league thought of trying getting a run down between first and second long enough, and then the runner from third breaks for home. Dips his back shoulder, pops this up down the right field line. This will kick foul and hit the seats near the entrance plaza. Count pushes to 0-2.
Yeah, Van Hoos is inching up on 80 pitches for the outing. But like you mentioned, even Brendan King, the starter for Holy Cross, both exceeded that 100-pitch limit. Not really a limit, I should say, but more just that plateau of 100 pitches.
An error has prolonged the inning. Men on the corners, 2 outs, 0-2 count. Good block by Klugerman, and maybe a game-saving block to keep the runner 90 feet away, the tying run. Count 1-2. What a stop there by Klugerman. You got to bear down with a runner on third, and the pitcher's looking to throw a waste pitch, trying to probably bounce one. Good job by Evan. Big spot here for Holy Cross, who cruised in Game 1 last weekend against the Black Knights. Took a lead in the first inning, never looked back. Playing from behind here. The 1-2, the runner goes low in the dirt, and Klugerman will let Rinaldi take second base. That takes away the forced out, and more importantly now a single. And look who'd be in front, Holy Cross.
And it's such a big spot that Klugerman wants to calm down his ace. Give him a pep talk here. I mean, look, his stuff's been good all the way through, even despite this prolonged inning.
Hassell, a very patient hitter, leads the team in walks with 20, was down in the count 0-2. Tulsa, Oklahoma native. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Bucknell clinging to a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth. And Van Hoos steps off. You've got great speed on the base pass. Outfield straight away. Infielders have to knock anything down. The 2-2. Spun foul behind home plate. That's what you call an emergency hack. Just flinging the bat to stay alive. One in at bat by the senior. One of 13 on this roster. Trying to take Holy Cross to a place where they haven't been since 1978. Been almost 40 years since they've been to the NCAA tournament. This is game 1 of a 3-game set. The 2-2. Slider away, 3-2. A professional at bat. Down in the count, worked it full. They do have first base open. But Schlitz on deck. He broke up the perfect game in the 4th inning. Van Hoos has allowed just 1 run in his last 20 2/3 innings. The payoff pitch, the 3-2. Looper into left field for a base hit. McCormick scores, rounding third and heading for home. It's Rinaldi. He scores as well. And the Crusaders bench erupts down the third base line. They catapult in front to take a 2-1 lead. What an at-bat. They're fired up. And Rafferty unable to pick that ball. Looms real large. Taking another look. What a pesky at-bat. Well, inside-out swing, flick of the wrist in shallow left field. Bell did everything he could, but easily scoring from second, going on contact. Rinaldi. And how big is that stolen base? That looms real large as well, Brendan.
Yeah, pitch in the dirt, and you swipe second, put yourselves in scoring position, and then it's interesting because Hassell is obviously being a leadoff hitter. You're not relying on him to drive in runs for most of the year, and that time he comes through with a clutch hit. Speaking to that theme of not trying to do too much, and Holy Cross has taken advantage.
Now those are 2 unearned runs, so they don't go against Connor Van Hoos's meticulous 1.87 ERA. But it hurts Bucknell on the scoreboard. They trail 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Have to limit the damage. Schlitt, the left fielders, 1 for 2. Throw over to check on Hassell at first. And Hassell has that propensity to be clutch. You know, a 342 hitter with runners in scoring position. That'll go up after that huge 2-run go-ahead knock. Another throw over to check on Josh Hassell, who leads the team in stolen bases with just 4. Shows you how few times Holy Cross steals bases. Just 17, now 18 swipes all year after that stolen base by Rinaldi. This ball's cranked to center. Should be playable for Brett Smith. Went in, now camps under it and makes the catch. But the damage certainly done. A huge error leads to 2 runs. Crusaders jump in front to take a 2-1 lead over the Bison through 5 innings of play from Hanover Insurance Park at Fitton Field. More ahead on the Patriot Network, powered by Campus Insiders.